Hey everybody, so here's a quick update on my life slash my hobbies. So I have the 1ZZ engine basically put together. It's about to go into the engine. I was going to try to do that today, but other things happened, so I'm just tightening the flywheel bolts here. And here's the 4AGE, going to go into the MR2 soon. I've just been procrastinating on that because I guess I found that my exhaust manifold is cracked for the NA. So, because I was going to do the turbo, but then the turbo manifold doesn't fit the one I got from MRP in New Zealand. It just didn't fit. Didn't clear some of the components in the back there, like the starter motor, which is kind of a fail. So I've just kind of abandoned the turbo project for now. Still going to try to get it to work because the engine is fully upgraded to handle the turbo. But I think the plan is to, once the car's in, or once the engine's in the car, I will go ahead and be able to see all the clearance issues I have, and I'll be able to get a manifold made up that's going to fit the turbo. And because I've already done like 90% of the other turbo stuff, it's just that manifold didn't fit, and I kind of just want to drive the car. So 4AGE, so the 1ZZ for the Spider, I just wanted to do a quick tip on what's going on with it. So yeah, I'm tightening the flywheel bolts, and I just found something kind of interesting. So I have this really nice torque wrench. It's like a Mac Tools, and it's called a Mac Tools TWXT, whatever, all that stuff. And it's like a digital torque wrench, right? And I have to tighten these flywheel bolts to 90 degrees. And I did the little markings, but then also this has a 90-degree setting. So you set it to 90 degrees, and you turn it, and it finally beeps when you hit 90. So it's pretty interesting, and I've always kind of wondered like what kind of torque values you get after you've tightened something 90 degrees past whatever you've torqued. Because in my opinion, you know, they should just tell you a torque value, but instead there must be variations in steel and all this stuff where they're just like, if you go to 90, you're likely to reach the bolt's failure properties. And once you do that, you've maxed out the bolt, so you have maximum tension on this part. So I don't really like that personally, but that's just how it is. Or you can get ARP bolts. The set I had weren't used, so they must have been torqued down really low, or somebody did a flywheel on this, and they just obviously weren't torqued down. I could tell they weren't yielded at all. And it checks out because when I did the torque to 90, I was able to get out of these, the max I was able to get is 88 foot-pounds out of one when you go past 90 degrees. So how that works is when you're torquing with this Mac Tools torque wrench, you go past 90 degrees, it tells you what torque value you're at plus what degree value you're at. So when I finished at 90 degrees torque, I was able to see that I was around 105 to 120 Newton meters for every single bolt. And that to me is pretty good. You're past 70 foot-pounds. And usually most of these types of engines that are like a 4-cylinder with 150, 140 horsepower, you know, you want 70 foot-pounds about. So everything was over 70 foot-pounds. So kind of a cool little tip. And also, you know, I know this is towards the leading the end of my video here, but if you're trying to tighten your flywheel and you don't want this to move because you have a timing chain, you don't want to mess up, you know, the pistons because the valve timing isn't pressurized right now, or the chain tensioner isn't pressurized, so it might cause you to spin the whole engine and then one of the piston touch the valves. So what I found is if you just get some of this like really cheap string from Home Depot for like fences and stuff, it's just like a nylon, and you put in one of your flywheel bolts right here, and then you put in one of your transmission bolts, and you just do like a figure 8, and you do that a couple of times. It's going to work perfectly for you. And yeah, I was able to tighten up to, one of them was like 90, almost 90 foot-pounds. So yeah. So yeah, that's how you do that. Also, something cool I kind of learned. So these are M10 bolts, and you can a typical M10, grade 8 or 10. I can't remember what it was, but they're supposed to go to like 60 foot-pounds. So the fact that I'm getting like, almost 90 foot-pounds out of these is pretty crazy. And yeah, I was, the nice thing about this torque wrench too, I know I'm just yapping now, but the nice thing about this torque wrench is every time I realize that as you're tightening, if you stop and you start up again, it's a lot harder to start back up. So you're introducing like some type of, there's like moving friction, and then there's stopped friction, so static friction. So you got to break off that static friction, and that's kind of annoying. So I tried to do all of them in one swoop, and that made it really nice to be able to feel if the bolt was yielding. And I think some of them did yield. I can kind of feel that towards the end there, once I got closer to 90, the pressure I was pushing, this was getting a little bit more. And you can also see it if I were, this has a port on it. You can plug this into a computer, and you could graph the angle over torque to see like what that movement just did that you just torqued. So I bet the graph would like go up, and then it would kind of even out as it yields. And that kind of just proves to you that, yes, it probably did yield. But as long as I have 70 foot-pounds on these, I'm pretty happy with that. So if I ever do another flywheel, I'll definitely get the ARP. But I figured I'm never going to do that because I'm never going to take this engine out again. Knock on wood. And so, yeah, and then here's the transmission. I got a new Luck clutch. This is also a Luck flywheel, and here's the stock one. So the Luck flywheel from Rock Auto was pretty cheap, and it looks really good too. Like, it just looks like it was well made, and the surface finish is really nice. It did get a little tarnished, but that will just clear up once it runs, and I'll wipe it down with some acetone. And then I'll go ahead and show you the new flywheel. It's inside. Okay, so here's the nice new flywheel. It comes in like a pizza box, which is kind of funny. So here's the pressure plate. Looking pretty good, just, standard pressure plate. This is the Luck brand. This is the same brand that's used in like BMWs and stuff like that. So say what you will, but it looks really good. And I think the reason why I want to go with this brand again is because I had it in the car before. And honestly, the clutch felt fine. The only reason why I'm replacing it is because, I'm already in there. I might as well replace it. It's probably been many miles before this has been replaced. And here's the friction disc. Looking pretty good. You can tell they have their own branding. So, it came right from them. So, yeah, looks pretty good. The nice thing, the interesting thing about this clutch is since I have both the 1ZZ Spider and the 4AGE MR2 AW11, this clutch is a lot stronger, probably 30% stronger, maybe 25% stronger than the 4AG clutch. I wish that this was in the 4AGE because it just grabs a lot faster and a lot harder. The Exity clutch that I have in the 4AGE, it's nice, but it's a little bit easier to, let it burn. If you let go too fast, it'll kind of burn this up a little bit. It might have been because my brother, I let him drive the car and he might have burned it up a little bit, but who knows? Look at all those colors. That's crazy. Wonder why it's like blue, purple, and then yellow right there. It's kind of cool. What if it's heat treated? Gearbox side. That's cool that they do that. So yeah, and I have my ultrasonic cleaner going here because I you got to clean your flywheel bolts, you know, these little things, you got to clean them. Not really. I hate having grease on parts that I'm about to install, kind of an OCD thing. So yeah, this is kind of where I'm at. So yeah, all I got to do now is, you know, for the 4A, I have another manifold I got a long time ago. It's from an 88, I think. The crankshaft that came from that engine is in here because it's the one with the bigger journals, the 42 millimeter. So this one is not cracked, so I'm going to use this one temporarily. It has the EGR bung on the side here, so I'll have to use the EGR from the other engine. So once I get the 1ZZ running, I think I'm going to start focusing on this guy. I just want to drive. I just want to drive before spring. I got a lot of things planned. I want to do the triple nickel a bunch, and I want to just drive to work. You know, that car's the only car I have that has AC right now, so, you know, the summer will be nice with AC. But yeah, so here's the finished engine, though. I guess I haven't really shown anyone, but it's got, you know, this really nice paint on it that I painted. You know, all like mostly new hoses that I got, you know, from Rock Auto. These vacuum hoses are original, and I've super cleaned this pipe here, and the manifold is super clean. I got this really fancy brush right here. It's not really fancy, but it's just like a pipe brush, and put it on my drill. And because this car had a really bad oil burning issue, my intake headers were just completely caked with grease. So this has been degreased. You know, there was probably like no joke, like this much carbon buildup on the inside of these. And I even like was just like, let's just see what happens if I put it in my dishwasher. So I put it in the dishwasher with no soap or anything, just water, to see if it did anything. And it didn't really do anything. I think it just kind of heated it up and maybe got some of the grease to like be soft. And then I took it to a car wash and blasted it out, and then I used the brush, and then I got all new pieces. I painted this because it was really rusty, and I painted the valve cover with the same paint. This is the valve. I painted the valve cover. I painted the timing chain with the same paint. So it's all the same. And I painted the block too with some silver paint. And I got all new pulleys, new water pump. The alternator I kept because it seems fine and it's expensive. I don't want to replace it. Painted this pulley, you know. Excuse me. And this is cool. This is a what is this? Forget the name of it, but this is a hydraulic dampened timing belt or serpentine belt tensioner. You know, typically we tension cars with the alternator on a pivot, but this has like a spring in it, and it also dampens. So it's cool. It always keeps up consistent pressure on the belt. So you don't really have to adjust the belt tension. It always applies a good belt tension to the belt. And I got this new pulley, thanks to my brothers. They paid for that with a $25 gift card. So thank you. The old one was just really rubbing, and this guy's got a Japanese bearing in it, which is really nice. So yeah, I mean, what else did I do? Oh yeah, this one has forged rods in it and forged pistons too. So it's turbo ready, and I figured if I'm gonna build this up and just rebuild it, I might as well, you know, get the forged internals in there. Maybe down the road I can take it to a shop and they can throw a turbo kit on it. Because this car, I'm trying to keep this car like, not like a project car like this car is. This is a project car. This is a project car, but I'm going to pay other people to make it fast for me. Because it is too much work doing two project cars. So this car, I'll probably just pay somebody to put a turbo kit on it at some point. Because there's turbo kits out there that just hook up pretty easily. And, you know, the nice thing about having, with this engine, the exhaust is in the back. So you can put the whole turbo like right here. Super easy. So, yeah, this is coming together. I was hoping that I could get the engine in today, but I don't think, you know, that's probably not going to happen. So, yeah, this is an update. just moving through the motions here. You know, it's like close to the end of February. And we got March and we got April, and you know, my goal is to get these at least a spider done by April, and I think I'm getting close. And yeah, so well, thanks for listening to my update. I don't know if it's interesting, but you know, if something helped you on this video, you know, just like the video, and then I'll know that I'm on the right track. So thanks for watching. Bye.